Hello, my name is Hannah, and I am going to be opposing my partner's argument for this debate. While medical error is undeniably a serious and urgent issue, I argue that creating stricter rules is not the best or most effective solution. In fact, adding more regulation to an already over-regulated system may unintentionally increase the likelihood of errors and worsen patient outcomes. My opponent pointed out that there were a wide range of estimates on how many people die each year from medical errors, ranging from 25,000 to more than 200,000. That enormous gap is not a sign of hidden deaths. It is a sign of how unreliable current measurement systems are. As Susan Bayek explains, many of these studies rely on subjective chart reviews where clinicians often disagree. Others combine complications with preventable errors, and some even use foreign healthcare data that does not reflect the United States. If the foundation of our understanding is inconsistent and inaccurate, then creating stricter rules would end up punishing hospitals for measurement flaws, not necessarily for true lapses in care. We cannot impose harsher penalties when we still cannot define the exact slope of where the problem is with precision. We must acknowledge the reality that healthcare is already one of the most heavily regulated professions in the country. Doctors and nurses are required to comply with thousands of pages of state laws, federal mandates, insurance requirements, and hospital policies. Research has shown that when clinicians are overloaded with regulatory demands, burnout increases, time with patient decreases, and documentation pressure rises. Burnout is a major contributor to mistakes, and excessive rules create rushed decision-making and increased stress, which ironically leads to more medical errors, not fewer. More rules do not guarantee more safety. They often create an environment where mistakes are more likely to occur. My opponent argues the mandatory regulatory reporting of medical errors is essential, but evidence from international healthcare systems show that the majority of punitive reporting systems actually backfire. When reporting is tied to punishment, providers become afraid to report errors, and hospitals become protective and secretive instead of transparent. Countries with the safest medical systems are Sweden and the Netherlands. They use non-punitive learning systems that encourage providers to report mistakes without fear. Their safety improvements come from open communication, not punishment. If we tie reporting to penalties, we risk driving errors underground, making the situations even more dangerous. It is also important to understand what the majority of medical errors are not the result of careless doctors. Most errors arise from deeper issues such as understaffing, poor electronic record designs, and miscommunication between departments, insurance barriers, and unrealistic patient loads. Stricter rules aimed at individuals do nothing to fix the structural problems. A tired doctor working a 28-hour shift is far more likely to make a mistake than one who is well rested, regardless of how many regulations exist. If we prevent the harm, we must improve the system rather than increase punishment on individuals. The proposal for a national public database for medical errors also raises serious concerns. While it may seem like a step towards transparency, medical outcomes are completely and incredibly complex. Patients often cannot distinguish between a complication that was unavoidable and a preventable error. Publicly labeling providers can unfairly damage careers, discourage open communication, and reduce collaboration. Among healthcare teams, it might also motivate providers to avoid high-risk patients altogether, simply to avoid being penalized on a public record. Fear-based systems do not create safer care. They create defensive mechanisms and secrecy. In conclusion, rules may sound like accountability, but they risk reducing the exact opposite outcome. They increase stress on healthcare workers, drive errors underground, and punish individuals for circumstances created by flawed systems. We cannot fix the systematic issue with a regulatory hammer. All we need is accurate data, improved hospital systems, reduced bureaucracy, better staffing, and supportive environments where providers feel safe reporting issues before harm occurs. This is how we protect patients. Transparency, safety, and accountability come from smarter systems and better support, not from stricter rules. Thank you.